I'm Nick Perot. Coming up on 6 News at 11, heavy rain and lightning go around Spartan Stadium, but fans I spoke with said they weren't going anywhere. We'll have a live report.
And those showers and storms coming to an end, but we've got more in the forecast. 6 News at 11 starts now.
Now, from your local news leader, this is 6 News.
Lots of fireworks at Spartan Stadium, but not the kind the green and white expected. The evacuation of Spartan Stadium is our top story at 11. Thanks for joining us, everybody. I'm Greg Adeline.
And I'm Sherry Jones. Now, there wasn't much scoring in the first half of the MSU Western game tonight.
Then, midway through the second quarter, lightning struck. Literally.
Lightning strikes prompted officials to empty more than 70,000 people out of the stadium. Now, here are a couple of pictures from our viewers tonight.
Now, the storm passed. They let people back in, and the game is still underway, but Mother Nature made it a home opener that some Spartan fans will never forget.
6 News reporter Nick Perot was out there when it all went down. We're going to get to him in just a couple of minutes.
But we're going to start with Chief Meteorologist David Young, who's following those storms tonight. And David, have we seen the last of the rough weather this evening?
We have, but what an interesting evening it was. The storms were very isolated in nature as they rolled through, but boy, did they pack a punch. Take a look. We'll take you back as far as the storms go. 8:49 this evening. There were just a few lightning strikes to the southwest of the city, far enough away that the game had not stopped, at least at that point. A little bit closer in time, though, there is Spartan Stadium, and notice just to the west, 1.3 miles away. That's how far the lightning strikes were, and they got even closer with the heavy rainfall that was pouring down. Lightning strikes less than a half a mile away from the stadium. That's certainly well in that danger zone, so no need to wonder why the folks were evacuating the stadium. Now the Doppler shows the showers and storms well south. No threat of any more storms, at least as far as central mid-Michigan. Jackson County, though, continues to see a lot of lightning, some small hail and gusty winds as this is going to push just south of Jackson. There is a severe thunderstorm warning in effect from Ann Arbor east, but that's more of a concern off to our east as we head into the next 24 hours. Cooler weather builds in and an unbelievable time lapse of the stadium as that rain rolled through. I'll have that for you coming up in just a couple minutes.
All right, looking forward to that. Thank you, David. We're going to continue our top story coverage with the fans' perspective.
Earlier tonight on 6 News at 5, we told you about the possibility of a stadium evacuation, and tonight it happened.
Our Nick Perot was outside Spartan Stadium when it happened and talked to fans who lived through Mother Nature's delay of game.
And now that the weather has quieted down, he joins us now live from outside Spartan Stadium with that side of the story. Nick, how did fans react to this whole thing?
Well, guys, really, it was a back and forth emotion. First, when those evacuations sounded, there was a PA system announcement to take shelter, that there would be a half-hour delay for every lightning strike. So we could see a lot of fans leaving the gates, plenty of law enforcement to help guide them to the exits in case this thing was delayed or even canceled. But an announcement came on later. We'll show you this video, as you can see right now. Once those announcements were heard, hundreds of fans left Spartan Stadium, didn't know where they were going to go, if they were going to go to their car, if they were going to take shelter. Now, I caught up with Michigan State fans and Western Michigan fans, and some of them told me, this being the home opener football season 2013, they weren't going anywhere, and based on some of their responses, they even carried a little bit of sense of humor.
We went and stood in the library for a half an hour.
And you're ready to go back in?
Got to start the game.
Oh, we're heading back in. I came all the way from Kalamazoo, Michigan to root on my Broncos. And we're going to go Broncos. Now, State's tough. We love State, too. Go Broncos.
We got to take on some more points here.
Right. Made 40 yards offensive progress so far, so we got to see if we get to the third-string quarterback.
So as you can hear, that traveling far from Kalamazoo, trying to get that third-string quarterback in for Michigan State. But still fun, plenty of sense of humor out here at Spartan Stadium. They definitely weren't going to let some thunderstorms and lightning strikes bother their home opener. And they said that's the reason they had to stick around for Spartan Stadium. It is the home opener, guys. It's college football season, and they weren't going to leave it for anything. That'll do it for us live at Spartan Stadium. Nick Perot, 6 News.
All right, Nick, thanks. Well, Spartan fans aren't the only ones seeing green today.
That's right. The start of the football season means big profits for businesses selling Spartan stuff. And not only are students back at East Lansing, but football games mean thousands of fans returning to the campus, all wanting to see what the green and white section of the bookstores have to offer.
It's been a lot of people from out of town. Everybody wants their new Spartan gear, so it's been great. And since it's a Friday night game, a lot of people are here. Labor Day weekend doesn't affect it, so very typical. Business has been really good. You know, people are out supporting their Spartans. Go green.
That's right. Of course, stay tuned to 6 News for continuing coverage of all things Spartan. Fred's going to let us know what's happening on the field coming up later in sports.
And while football seems to be the only game in town, many people are leaving town altogether for Labor Day weekend. AAA expects 1.2 million Michigan residents to hit the roads for the holiday weekend, and many of them started those trips tonight. AAA says this will be the busiest Labor Day travel weekend in the last 5 years. But there is some good news for those travelers. As usual, the Michigan Department of Transportation is suspending work on 44 projects this weekend, so it'll be a little easier to get around. That includes sites in Ingham, Jackson, Eaton, and Livingston County. Construction crews walked off the job at 3 o'clock this afternoon. They won't be back until Tuesday morning at 6. For a complete list of those projects in mid-Michigan and around the state, check out the Scene on 6 section of WLNS.com. He was wanted by authorities, charged with homicide. Then Lansing police caught him and accidentally let him go. But Michael Dwayne Lawrence is back behind bars tonight. Authorities caught up with him in Las Vegas. Lawrence was wanted for killing 2 people in Saginaw. 6-year-old Layla Jones in August of 2012. And 23-year-old Angelica Olivares in April. Now, Lansing police caught him in February, but he got away because he gave them a fake name. The department says it's reviewed its policies to make sure something similar won't happen in the future. But tonight, the mother says that she's just happy that Lawrence is behind bars.
And Mike, your time has come, and justice has prevailed, and you'll pay.
Court proceedings are now underway to get Lawrence from Las Vegas back to Michigan.
Take a close look at this sketch. Police are looking for someone resembling this picture, wanted for a string of break-ins in northern Ionia County. Authorities say this person has broken into several homes, and a witness saw this person leave the scene of one of the crimes riding in a silver 4-door car. If you know anything about the break-ins or have an idea who this person is, call 616-527-0107. That's Silent Observer or the Ionia County Sheriff's Office at 616-527-5737. Well, the world is watching and waiting as the United States considers a military strike on Syria, one that could come in within the hour.
The Obama administration detailed what it said is evidence that President Bashar Assad's regime used chemical weapons on its own people, killing more than 1,400.
Damascus says the U.S. is trying to justify an attack, and CBS's Daniel Nottingham is at the White House with the latest.
President Obama says he is not considering sending U.S. troops to Syria, but cruise missiles might deliver the message to Syrian President Bashar Assad that the use of chemical weapons will not be tolerated.
This kind of attack threatens our national security interests by violating well-established international norms against the use of chemical weapons.
The administration released an intelligence assessment that says the U.S. has high confidence the Syrian regime attacked civilians with nerve gas last week, killing 1,429 people, almost a third of them children. The evidence came from spy satellites. On August 21st, they detected flashes of rockets being fired and detonating. Secretary of State John Kerry.
We know where the rockets were launched from and at what time. We know where they landed.
The Obama administration says it is mindful of the lead up to the war in Iraq, which was based on faulty evidence that Iraq had weapons of mass destruction. Kerry says this time we're sure.
This is common sense. This is evidence. These are facts.
The UN says analyzing samples taken from the attack sites could take weeks. Danielle Nottingham at CBS News, the White House.
Now, from Storm Tracker 6, your full forecast first. Made possible by your independent auto owners insurance agents, the no problem people.
Well, this wasn't one of those evenings we had big severe weather, but anytime you have a large group outdoors like you did at Spartan Stadium tonight, A brief heavy rain shower can cause quite a bit of havoc. Take a look at the time lapse. We started this afternoon as the crowd was just beginning to gather and head into Spartan Stadium. You can see them starting to fill up the facility this afternoon into this evening in what looked like a great evening for some football. I'll put a pause point in here. This is just as the storm was approaching the city, moving in from the west, some lightning strikes just appearing. And it was a brief rainfall, but you notice the visibility dropping quite a bit there. This is that heavy rain that moved in. The lightning strikes less than a half a mile away from the stadium. And so, of course, the evacuation was ordered, and rightfully so with that lightning that close. Certainly could have been a tragic situation. Fortunately, was not. Now, as everyone started to fill back in, well, you heard the news already. A lot of folks decided to head on home, and not very many left out there tonight. In fact, we look at the current live view, and there you can see the crowd still out there as the football game is still going on. 75 degrees, winds pretty light, so it's a mild evening to finish out what now is a nice football evening. The Capitol Cam, temperature 75 as well, feels like 79. Jackson Cam, some rain showers around, the heaviest rain across southern Jackson County heading towards Brooklyn. 74 degrees is the current temperature. Other numbers still 77 in Owasso. Check out Detroit, 80 degrees right now. That would be well above your normal high temperature, so it is a warm one out there, at least in spots. As we look at the satellite and radar, there's the line of showers and storms, and there weren't a lot of storms with it, but the one that moved over downtown Lansing, causing all the news out there tonight. We look at Precision Cast. The remainder of the overnight showers and storms get out of here by tomorrow morning. We'll see partly cloudy skies, and through the day, partly cloudy at worst. A nice Saturday afternoon, in fact. Moving into Sunday, more of the same overall. Mix of clouds and sunshine out there. By Sunday evening and Sunday night, 1 or 2 showers or thunderstorms. This second front is going to be much stronger. Most of the weekend is warm, but as this front passes on Monday, we'll get back into the 70s and could even see some low temperatures in the 40s for next week. Tonight, 66 the overnight low with showers and storms coming to an end. West winds becoming northerly tonight, 5 to 10 as the weak cold front moves through. 66 at 7 o'clock. Temperature at noon climbs into the upper 70s. Today's highs were in the upper 80s. Tomorrow's highs low 80s. So yeah, it's still warm, but it is a little bit cooler. The 6-day forecast, temperatures 85 on Sunday, 77 Monday, low 70s for highs on Tuesday, lows near 50 by Wednesday morning, and then mid 70s for highs as we head into Wednesday and Thursday. Tonight's football game, a great example of why you need the Storm Checker 6 weather app. You can track those storms, and it'll let you know, give you a text message as the storm gets close to wherever you are via GPS, and that's always nice notice to have when you're in a large outdoor gathering. So be sure and give that a download for Android and iPhone mobile devices.
And that time-lapse camera was really cool.
That was incredible to see. The crowd just kind of get out of there, and then rightfully so, but then a lot just decided, no, I've had enough for tonight.
All right, they're like, best seat in the house, right in front of the TV. Yeah. Thanks,
Good job. Thank you. Just ahead on 6 News, if you thought tonight's storm was bad, we're going to show you people who are still recovering from Wednesday's storm and what the city of Lansing may do about it.
And a lawsuit over stormwater could cost another mid-Michigan city a pretty penny. We'll tell you what's at stake.
All those stories plus your holiday forecast and 6 sports when 6 News at 11 continues. Well, after Wednesday's floods tore a hole in Birchfield Street, the city of Lansing brought in a contractor today to take a look inside the pipes.
Shelby Miller was there today to see it firsthand and spoke to residents and the city about what happens next.
This sinkhole the size of an SUV sits down the street from Lori Fruch's home. Today, caution tape, road closure signs, and city workers surrounded the site as they investigate Wednesday's flood.
We're hoping they, find answers and find them soon because we can't keep wondering.
Today, a Kalamazoo company brought their iBat camera equipment to Birchfield, and they started down the street and worked their way down the pipes right here to see if there's any damage done. Here's what it looks like underground. All they can tell us right now is there was a problem with the pipe's flow.
It hit a record for the maximum amount of rainfall in any given day in the month of August since 1869.
But Birchfield residents have faced this problem before. This is their street 2 years ago. It cost the Fruchs over $40,000 to repair. They're still not back in their home.
We just have been trying for 2 years for answers, and being the issue keeps happening, keeps getting worse, we just want a home, a safe home.
Gamble says he proposed this plan to city council when the first flood hit in 2011. It would buy out the homeowners and cost the city about $400,000. The only other solution is to increase Birchfield storm sewer size, costing Lansing tens of millions of dollars.
So it just depends on how the council would like to do it, and this was a packet that was sent out to them and given to them in 2011.
We just want a safe place to lay our head, you know, and not have to worry whether it's here, whether it's somewhere else. Just let us be able to sleep at night.
But with the chance of more rain tonight, Fruch worries about more flooding as this hole sits just yards from her home. In Lansing, Shelby Miller, 6 News.
Now, Gamble says the issue will be addressed again at Wednesday's public meeting. Stormwater is a big issue in Jackson, too, but for another reason.
After a court called the city's stormwater fee an illegal tax, one of the plaintiffs in the case wants the city to fork over $2.8 million. The Michigan Court of Appeals had offered Jackson and ordered them to stop collecting the fee and pay the attorneys for the 3 plaintiffs. Jackson County, one of the plaintiffs, requested about $140,000. Jackson Coffee Company owner Brian Surgener represented himself and the other plaintiff. He says the city should fork over $2.8 million for all 3 plaintiffs to split. But the mayor says that's not going to happen. Well, we all know that eating fruit is good for you, right?
Yeah, but there's new research that suggests that an apple a day could help fight off a disease that affects 1 out of every 12 Americans. The fascinating details up next in the HealthCast, so stick around. That story coming up next on 6 News at 11.
Now, the latest health news and information. This is the 6 News HealthCast, brought to you as a community service of Sparrow.
Well, it may seem hard to believe, but 1 out of every 12 Americans has diabetes, and that adds up to about 26 million people.
But a new study shows eating certain fruits could help protect against this disease. Sharika Duncan has the story.
Nayantara Banerjee often comes to the farmer's market for the freshest produce. Now a new study shows eating fruit could help lower her risk of diabetes.
That makes sense. Processed sugars always seem to be a little bit more diabolic.
Research from Brigham and Women's Hospital shows people who eat at least 2 servings a week of certain fruits may reduce their chances of developing diabetes by as much as 23%.
Blueberries, apples, grapes seem to have a more beneficial effect as the consumption of other fruits.
Scientists say darker colored fruits are rich in fiber, antioxidants, and other compounds that could help regulate blood sugar. But it's just whole fruits that count, not fruit juice. In fact, researchers found that people who had 1 or more servings of fruit juice each day increased their risk of developing diabetes.
Fruit juice is also absorbed very quickly through our gut. So fruit juices may cause higher blood sugar values because of the quantity of fiber that's present.
Diabetes runs in Nayantara's family.
My father has developed it at an older age.
She's hoping her healthy food choices will keep her from getting the disease. Sharika Duncan, CBS News, New York.
Researchers say that raisins and prunes also seem to have the same effect on regulating blood sugar.
All right, Fred's here with sports. He has an update on the game and the Lightning at Spartan Stadium.
You saw Nick Throw off the top.
Yeah.
He was pretty dry.
Yeah, he looked dry.
Audrey Dahlgren's on the sideline. She's sopping wet.
Oh, yeah.
She's shooting the game. Kevin Gale is there, too.
Yeah.
We'll give you an update on the Spartan game and the Lightning. We also have high school football tonight. No, it's not a 5th quarter night, but it is a Friday, and a few local teams were in action after most of them played last night, including the Jackson Vikings at home. We'll have highlights of that up next, too, in sports. Stay with us.
This is 6 Sports, brought to you by Dean Trailways of Michigan.
Friday night under the lights and under the lightning, as it turns out. MSU and Western Michigan opening the season. 55-minute lightning delay during the 2nd quarter is just exactly what can ruin any fan's Friday evening. Spartans leading the Broncos right now. 16-7 is the score late in the 3rd quarter. Interception by Jarius Jones. He lateraled to Curtis Drummond. He returned it for a touchdown. Drummond had his own sensational one-hand interception later in this game. Jeremy Langford scored a touchdown, and the Spartans have just kicked a field goal. It's 16-7 late in the 3rd quarter. Local stations are not legally allowed to show highlights during broadcasts of network games, so we won't. We'll have a complete report with both reporters, Audrey Dahlgren and Kevin Gale, there tomorrow, and all the highlights tomorrow when it is legal. During the game, MSU basketball star Gary Harris tweeted a picture with he and teammate Adrian Payne, both in football threads. And the tweet read, "About to hit the field with Adrian Payne during the weather delay." By the way, Harris was an outstanding high school wide receiver, probably could have played football in the Big Ten. Michigan's football team is checked into an Ann Arbor hotel tonight, awaiting the Wolverines season opener tomorrow at 3:30 against the Central Michigan Chippewas. Wolverines are huge favorites to hang one on the Chips, 31.5 points. And Michigan may cover even if Brady Hoke plays quarterback, as he did during today's walkthrough. And Hoke is confident his team will be ready as can be.
I thought we had a good week, and I think the preparation's been good. The guys have been around. School hadn't started, so I think we had a good week. We talk to them every day about, the expectations and how we expect you to represent that winged helmet and the teams that have come before. So I'm sure there'll be some nervousness, and that's good.
Most of the area high school football teams opened the new season last night. Few of them opened tonight, including the Lansing Sexton Big Reds, who played at Chelsea. They have weather issues there, too, or lightning delays. The latest we have, Sexton leading 15-7 in the fourth quarter. They may still be playing. No final in yet from Chelsea. Jackson Parma Western beat Lakewood 29-10. Jackson Lumen Christie whipped Buchanan 42-6. And Jackson High with new head coach Scott Farley in action tonight at home against West Bloomfield. Farley, the longtime coach at Leslie before taking this gig. His team played some meat defense there as linebacker Drew Monroe sniffs out the sweep. Lakers took back the momentum. Quarterback Robert Powell tosses to a wide open Brighton Una Egbu. What a name. Touchdown. West Bloomfield taking control. Jackson trying to come back, throws downfield. Of course his name isn't Smith. It's Una Egbu with the interception. Run back for a touchdown. West Bloomfield goes on to rout Jackson 39-12, the final. You can catch expanded highlights of this game and all the others we covered on the fifth quarter last night on our expanded highlights webpage. Go to our website, WLNS.com. Click on fifth quarter. Get more highlights than you'll get anywhere else. The top two teams in the American League Central Division opening a weekend series at Comerica Park in Detroit tonight. Tigers up 6.5 games over the Tribe heading in. This new Tiger shortstop, Jose Iglesias, is something else to watch. Look at this in the second inning. Snares a one-hopper. Flips to Infante for one. That's a double play. Who is Johnny Peralta anyway? Wow, what a play by the kid Iglesias. Still score, actually tied 1-1. Austin Jackson hits this shot, goes for a single up the middle. Iglesias scores 2-1, good guys. Story of the game in the third inning. Bases loaded for the Tigers. And Victor Martinez, with the Tigers up 2-1, hits this towering fly ball. Michael Bourne can't find it. He's not bluffing, folks. Watch where it lands. 40 feet behind him. Two-run double for Martinez. Tigers now lead 7-2. It's rain delayed in the seventh inning. If we get a final before we go off, we'll tell you. Lansing Lugnuts were winners on the road tonight. 4 hits, including a home run by Carlos Ramirez, 8-5 over Lake County. The Lugnuts return home tomorrow night. Last homestand of the season, folks. We'll see you later.
Hard to believe. Baseball on its way out. Football is here.
We have arrived.
We have arrived. Fred's not too happy about that, but no big deal.
But David Young is. He's going to have a final check on your holiday forecast coming up. Don't go away.
All right, David, hopefully that rain's out of the way.
Yeah, a few raindrops falling on your head tonight. That's about it. Just the raindrops out there. Yeah. Showers and storms come to an end tonight. Tomorrow, low 80s, mid-80s on Sunday. Then we're in the 70s Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Overnight lows well into the 50s.
We watch the commercials too, don't we, right?
Certainly do. Finally tonight, it is Labor Day weekend. And for decades, that's meant the annual Muscular Dystrophy Telethon aired right here on TV6.
But now, after almost 50 years, the MDA decided to take the show on the road to ABC. And that means you won't be seeing any of us during the 2-hour show. There will not be any local segments either. But despite the changes, they still say all the donations received will stay in our community. We'll miss doing it. The telethon will air this Sunday from 9 to 11 p.m. on ABC. And we definitely hope that you will support them.
A great cause and, some great shots from years past.
Absolutely, and some great families. Oh, thank you. That's our show for tonight.
We're always on, always free at WLNS.com.